Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tips. My name is Julian, and this is the Waiver Wire Weekend Pickups episode of the week. This is the episode where I tell you guys what players you should consider adding to help you secure that victory this week. Before we get started, guys, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow me on Twitter at Fantasy Tips. I'm constantly putting out updates there to help you guys win each and every week. And without further ado, let's look into the schedule for the weekend. And as usual, guys, the weekend covers Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This weekend's a little bit strange though, because on Friday and Sunday, there are basically no teams playing, and on Saturday, almost the entire league is playing. So I'm not really going to cover Saturday that much because in all likelihood, you don't really have that much room in your lineup on Saturday, if any room at all. And the unfortunate thing is that there are no teams that play both Friday and Sunday, so there's no way to, optimize your lineup that way. So instead of doing that normal Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday thing that I usually do in these videos, I'm going to talk about forwards that play on Friday and forwards that play on Sunday. So let's start with the forwards that play on Friday, and these are the 6 teams that actually play on Friday, and those teams are Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Dallas, Florida, and Minnesota. The first 5 teams that I just mentioned also play on Saturday, so if you do want someone to stream for both Friday and Saturday, stream from one of these 5 teams. Let's jump into it and let's see what the number 1 guy is to pick up from these teams. The number 1 guy I have is Marcus Foligno, 62% owned, playing on a line with Greenway and Eriksson Ek. It's a pretty solid line, and the second guy on my list is actually Joel Eriksson Ek. Both very good streamers and both guys who have been producing all season long. Foligno's great if you're in a bangers league as well because he likes to hit people as well. Then I have Anthony Duclair of the Florida Panthers playing on a line with Jonathan Huberdeau, also playing on their top power play now, so I really like his deployment, and he's been great all year round. Then I have Matt Zuccarello, who's playing on the top line in Minnesota with Ryan Hartman and Fiala, which is a great place to be deployed, so I definitely like Zuccarello. Loved him all year round so far. Then I have Carter Verhaeghe, who's playing on the top line with Alexander Barkov, so definitely a great add as well. Then Clayton Keller of the Arizona Coyotes playing on their top line. He's been absolutely fantastic for weeks now. Don't know how this guy's only 31% owned. Lawson Krause has been someone who's also been really great for the Coyotes this year. Plays on their second line wing alongside Kessel, and he's someone who likes to shoot the puck and hit people a lot as well. Next, I have Valeri Nichushkin, who's playing on the top line with McKinnon and Rantanen. I don't think I have to say more than that. Then I have Ryan Getzlaf, who's playing top line center in Anaheim alongside Troy Terry, which is great deployment. Max Comtois, who's playing second line with Raquel and Zegras. Definitely good deployment there as well. Trevor Zegras, who I just mentioned, plays with Comtois and Raquel. Anton Lundell of the Florida Panthers is their third line center, but has been on an absolute tear lately, which is why I have him so high here. Then I have Nicolas Aube-Kubel, who played alongside Kadri and Burakovsky on that second line in Colorado, and he has really been producing lately, which is why he got that promotion, and honestly makes for a really great streamer for those Friday and Saturday games. Then Rickard Raquel, who I already mentioned, plays on a line with Zegras and Comtois. He's also a guy who shoots the puck a lot, so he gives you a pretty decent floor. Then I have Patrick Hornquist of the Florida Panthers, who generally plays on their third or fourth line, but he's someone who gives you a pretty safe floor because he does shoot the puck and hit people quite a decent amount, and he does get deployed on the top power play a decent amount of the time as well, so I don't mind Hornquist if he is activated from my R in time for this weekend. Then I have Phil Kessel, who I kind of already mentioned. He plays alongside Lawson Krause on the second line in Arizona. Don't mind him as an ad. Sonny Milano plays on the top line with Ryan Getzlaf and Troy Terry in Anaheim. He's been pretty solid all year as well. Jordan Greenway now is playing on the second line with Foligno and Eriksson Ek. Because of that deployment, I have him on this list. Then I have JT Compher, who's currently skating on the third line. Not my favorite option, but is someone who generally receives a decent amount of ice time in Colorado, so could potentially pot something in for you. Then I have Jacob Silfverberg, who also plays on the third line in Anaheim, obviously. And obviously not my favorite option because it is a third liner, but if you need someone, he shoots the puck a decent amount as well. Alex Newhook is a center in Colorado on their third line with JT Compher. He's a really good rookie, and he's definitely someone who could do something for you as well. Other options include Isak Lundestrom, who plays third line in Anaheim, Radulov, Johan Larsson, who plays with Krause and Kessel and recently scored a hat trick, Travis Boyd, who centers Clayton Keller in Arizona, and Frankie Vetrano, who plays for the Florida Panthers, generally on their third or fourth line, but he's been semi-decent all year round. So jumping into Sunday games now, and the only 2 teams that play on Sunday are Vancouver and Washington, and they play each other. If you're watching this video when it comes out on Thursday, And you have same day adds. Well, Vancouver also plays Thursday night and Saturday night, so you could potentially get 3 nights out of the Vancouver players I'm going to be listing. Washington also plays on Saturday as well, so if you want Saturday and Sunday players, either of these teams will give you that. So these are the forwards that I would consider streaming for Saturday and Sunday, or just Sunday. Number 1 for me is Connor Garland, who's currently getting on the 3rd line in Vancouver with Bo Horvat. It's a pretty good line though, so not too worried about Garland. He's also someone who shoots the puck a good amount, so really not too worried about him. Then I have Tanner Pearson, who's skating on a line with Elias Pettersson. Not too worried about that either. Also shoots the puck a good amount to give him a safe floor. Garnett Hathaway of the Washington Capitals, currently on the 4th line, unfortunately. So definitely not as valuable as he was just a week ago. But if you're in a hitting league, he should still give you a pretty safe floor of hits, and that's why I have him so high. If you're not in a hits league, definitely he's not this high. Then I have Nils Höglander of the Vancouver Canucks, who's also playing with Elias Pettersson on the right wing, and he's a decent player, also shoots the puck a pretty decent amount. Give him a safe-ish floor. Not my favorite option, but at this point, there's not too many great low-owned options on Vancouver or on Washington. Lars Eller is someone who centers the 3rd line in Washington. Always someone who has a decent chance of getting you a point, but never an amazing one. Then Vasily Podkolzin, who's skating on the top line in Vancouver with JT Miller. So I don't mind that deployment at all. He's also skating with Brock Besser on that line. So pretty good line. Obviously, he hasn't been that amazing all year round, but definitely a good opportunity to put some points home with those guys on that line. And last but not least, I have Connor Sherry, who's currently skating on the 4th line as well with Garnett Hathaway. Honestly, a pretty good 4th line. But he's quite hot. Last game scored a couple of goals, and he's been on a pretty decent streak lately. So even though he's on the 4th line, I don't mind him if you're desperate. Jumping in some defensemen that you can consider streaming for this weekend. So every defenseman that I have here plays at least 2 games, because I know obviously your lineup is probably full on Saturday, but if there's going to be room for any position, it's probably going to be a defenseman. So all these defensemen that you're going to be seeing on my list are going to be playing 2 games, either Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. And the number 1 guy that I would add, if I'm you guys, is Erik Johnson. He's someone who's actually been really amazing ever since joining the team in Colorado this year, and he's putting up peripherals. He's managing to put up points even though he doesn't get power play time. Erik Johnson is definitely someone that I like having on my team. Then I have Radko Gudas of the Florida Panthers. Now, Gudas is not someone that I would have on this list at all if I'm not in a hitting league, but this guy hits so much that he gives a safe floor every single night. Then I have Shane Gostisbehere of the Arizona Coyotes. And Arizona Coyotes have not been a very good team this year, but Gostisbehere's actually been quite a bright point with them, and he gets to play on that top power play with Clayton Keller, Phil Kessel. Not a terrible power play, and Gostisbehere's been able to produce all year round, so definitely a pretty good ad for this weekend. Then I have Cam Fowler, 54% owned of the Anaheim Ducks, and recently was promoted to the top power play in Anaheim. He's manning that top power play all by himself in the back end, so definitely a pretty good place to be if you're a Cam Fowler owner, and definitely a Cam Fowler makes for a good pickup for this weekend. Then I have Tyler Myers, who gives you a safe floor each and every night for Vancouver because he hits, he blocks, he shoots the puck. Definitely someone that I like having on my team. Then I have Bowen Byram if somehow he comes back to play with Colorado for this weekend, but it looks like Byram might be out for a long time because he's pulled himself out of the lineup for concussion issues. So in all likelihood, this guy's not going to be back for this weekend, but I put him here just in case. Then I have Hampus Lindholm of the Anaheim Ducks, who's been pretty solid all year. Put some pretty decent peripherals. Definitely not my favorite option, but he's someone that you can definitely consider. Then I have Luke Schenn of the Vancouver Canucks, who's someone who's turned into kind of a hitting machine this year. Is hitting on average 4 times per game, which is crazy. Also blocks a decent amount of shots. Probably won't put up points for you, but he offers a really safe floor every single night. Asa Lindell, same kind of thing. Blocks and hits a decent amount, so gives a pretty safe floor. Jamie Drysdale is someone on the Anaheim Ducks who gets a decent amount of power play time. Someone that I don't love for his floor, though. His floor is not good. His ceiling is pretty decent, though. Then I have Nick Jensen, who puts up some decent peripherals to give himself a pretty safe floor as well. Brandon Montour, who plays power play 2 in Florida, which could sometimes be deadly, and sometimes he puts up quite a few points in a game. Then I have Gustav Forsling, who's been pretty consistently decent all year round. Doesn't put up crazy points, but he has been able to put up decent peripherals and puts up an assist every now and then as well. Then I have Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 47% owned of the Vancouver Canucks. and he mans the second power play in Vancouver, but honestly, this dude has not been great all year. That's why I have him so low on this list. But if he is available, and for some reason none of the guys above him are available, then he's someone I would consider. Then Ryan Suter of the Dallas Stars is someone who doesn't really have a floor because he doesn't really put up much for peripherals, but he does manage to put up assists pretty often, which is why I have him on this list. Then I have Brad Hunt, 0% owned of the Vancouver Canucks. He's not always in their lineup, but when he is, he does get to play on that second power play with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and lately he has been putting up points. So if you're in a really deep league and there's nobody else on this list available, well, Brad Hunt is actually not that bad of an ad. Then I have Josh Manson of the Anaheim Ducks, and he's someone who puts up a decently safe floor every night. It's not that high, though, the floor, so not someone I absolutely love, but is an option. Then I have Jani Hakanpää, who's really only an option if you're in a hits league because he does hit a fairly decent amount, and that's why I have him here at number 18. So what if you want to stream a goalie for Sunday? Well, guys, there's only 2 teams that play on Sunday and they play each other. So it's either going to be their starting goalies, Demko versus Samsonov, or it's going to be their backups, Vanacek and Halak. In all likelihood, it will be their backups, assuming that their starting goalies do start on Saturday. So Vanacek would be my choice to pick up over Halak if both of them are available, but both make for fairly decent ads for that Sunday streamer. Jumping into the categories league section of this video now, and if you need to catch up on shots on goal or you want to make sure you win that category, the number 1 guy to add is Connor Garland, who shoots the puck 2.9 times per game. Then Clayton Keller, 2.9, Rickard Rakell, 2.7, Tanner Pearson, 2.7, Ekman-Larsson, 2.6, Hornquist, 2.6, Nichushkin, 2.5, and Lawson Krause, 2.5. And if you need blocks, Tyler Myers blocks on average 2.3 times per game, which is great. Lindell 2.1, Tucker Pullman 1.9, Dyson Mayo 1.8, Eric Johnson 1.7, and Cam Fowler 1.5. Then if you need to catch up on hits or you just want to make sure you win that category and maintain your lead, the number 1 guy to add is Radko Gudas, 53% owned, hits 4.4 times per game, which is insane. Delorier also hits 4 times a game, which is another really great ad. Luke Shen, 2% owned only and hits 4 times per game, which is excellent. Garnet Hathaway, 3.7 times per game. And Simon Benoit, all of these guys are already taken. He would be my desperation ad since he has been hitting 3.3 times per game. Then if you need face-off wins, the number 1 guy to add who's under 50% owned is Ryan Getzlaf. Wins 11 face-offs per game and also definitely has a lot of offensive upside playing on the top line and top power play with Troy Terry. Definitely a great ad. Then I have Lars Eller, 6% owned, who wins 8.1 face-offs per game. Nick Dowd, who wins 7.5 face-offs per game. And then Anton Lundell, who wins 6.3. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.